Okay, hi Libras, and welcome to your October 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about a lovely month ahead for you. Thank you so much for coming on and checking out this reading, Libra. I'm just having a lovely fall-themed coffee right now. As I am filming your reading right after the equinox, okay? So we have entered into your time of the year. I'm going to be talking about what Libra season is signifying for you this year. And I'm going to talk about some tarot week-to-week messages, as well as do an extended reading on Patreon. So if you guys are excited, hit that thumbs up button and let's dive into your reading. So first of all, I want to say that I'm really impressed with the energy that I feel, despite a struggle, despite a fight, despite a really tantalizing push. It feels that something about your experience just is so rewarding in the month of October. Something tastes really good. There's some type of really good flavor. There's some type of really good coming of age that has already passed, and now you have a certain kindness to enjoy or a certain level of auspice to take in. And what's difficult sometimes about auspicious, benevolent events is only really the lack of satisfaction with them, or the being accustomed to difficult experiences and not allowing yourself to really enjoy the perks and benefits. Is I feel like there's a lot of perks, a lot of benefits, a lot of sort of I don't know, spiritual dividends that are coming into you now off of a lot of work previously done. So I feel like kick back, put your feet up, or if you're super busy, if you're working on something, if you're stepping into action and being productive every day, there should still be a feeling of putting your feet up, of resting into the situation, and maybe just enjoying a great coffee as I am right now. Okay, I need some caffeine to get through these readings. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I have so much content going out lately. We're doing weekly live premieres, Patreon content, and of course, monthly general forecasts for every sign. And your energy is feeling like that to me too. Like you're really devoted to something that you love. Maybe you're even having to work harder than you like just to keep up with it. And I would, if I'm really looking for any type of difficulty this month, it is in overworking or striving too hard or not trusting the truth. Okay, I'm feeling that really strongly. Not trusting the truth, not trusting the ebbing and flowing of life, maybe feeling like you got to really do it yourself or control everything. By now, I feel like your reputation or your identity, the way that you're known, the way that you've projected is powerful enough without so much work, okay? You've basically done the work, it feels like, and now you don't have to worry so much about people, I don't know, seeming like out to get you, or people trying to bring it down, because it flat out just wouldn't really be successful. As I do feel, with that Eight of Swords energy, with that Wheel of Fortune reversed energy, it's like, gosh, I'm really worried of having bad luck, or I'm just always sort of seeking out how things could go wrong, how things could derail me, and I've got to always be prepared for that. And that's kind of a bondage in a way. That's kind of an entrapment. And I think that you are called to come out of that while retaining your ability to overcome previous difficulties without having to forecast or detail every current problem now. Because it feels like you've done way more work than you're giving yourself credit for. It feels like you've put in way more hours of work, hard knocks, and blood, sweat, and tears than you're maybe remembering right now. As I feel Libra has gotten so present oriented, and this is really good, that you guys aren't maybe thinking so much about the past, or thinking even, you are thinking a little bit more about the future maybe, but you're not maybe counting or crediting yourself for the previous output, or maybe you've lost touch with it to some degree, and like, because you don't do it now, it doesn't really mean as much to you. I would definitely recommend a kind of, I don't, and not to necessarily be like pompous or something, but it's almost kind of like that. Like you got to be like, I have put in the hours, I have put in the work, I have done it, and now it can be easier. And almost like it has to be easier now, certain things that you're working on, whether this is a business, whether this is, I don't know, whatever it is that you're putting all of this life force energy into, because I do feel, what I basically feel with your month of October energetically is, and your season this year, your solar return, is having arrived to some degree, or having come through, having the most to some degree that you've ever had or something. In some way or another, it feels to be there. Even if you're taking a leap of faith, even if you're making changes, you are really detailing a certain level of abundance here. And I don't feel like it has to be offset with scarcity or fragility or mountains out of molehills, snakes in the grass type of thing, like that, ooh, where's the next snake in the grass? Where's the next, shadow? I would try to just grant yourself the benevolence to some degree of your current experience. Other intuitive messages for Libras in Libra season of 2021. I feel like you are just on the verge of some kind of masterful reinvention, or just on the verge of something very masterful. And why is that the case? It's because each air season in the year of 2021 is really magic, because we've got all this Aquarius energy, and we've got so much stuff going direct in your season this year that it says to me that there's an easing of a previous tension, there's an alignment, there's a relaxing, if you've ever gotten a deep tissue massage and you can feel a muscle that you didn't even know was constricted for a long time finally relaxed. That's actually what I feel for you this year. So I got to really say a congratulations for you, Libra. But again, as I'm sort of looking at your tarot spread in comparison to that, the only tendency that I'm seeing is like by habit, we cannot really give it to ourselves, or by habit, we might have a tendency to also hyperinflate these results, with Seven of Cups coming up too. Like, wow, I've got this now. How can I capitalize on it? How can I spend it? How can I multiply it times 10? Distance yourself from that if you can as well. It's equally as difficult to be in that mindset as it is to be in scarcity mindset, because it is scarcity mindset, okay? That feeling of like, wow, look at all this money I have. Look at all of this affection I have. Look at all of this, growth I have. How can I make it give me more? Because I'm afraid it's not enough. I don't trust it. It has to give me way more than it's currently giving me. You see what I'm getting to there? That's a knot that I feel really does have to start releasing this month. But otherwise, I think that it's a beautiful time, yes, to promote a new business, to start a new source of income, a new type of work. And it's a good time for a healthy dose of honesty. Keyword healthy. The sun reversed says that it is easy to get things wrong, okay, to some degree. That's why I'm also encouraging a bit of like feet up, because, how much can we really get wrong in more of a relaxed place? Definitely anything that makes you feel like you're walking a tightrope, anything that feels to take a super huge amount of skill and finesse to do, is not super recommended for anyone in October. We're getting there, okay? We're getting there, but we're building to it. So, I feel like you might have people who aren't necessarily out for your best interest around you too. Like not again to create fear, not again to like, you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to start thinking about all the people against me in my life. It's not like that. But I do think that you have a lot of self-interested people perhaps around you as a Libra person. It would make sense, like kind of orbiting around you, kind of witnessing the shine, kind of witnessing the appeal of your current experience, and also invested in it to some degree. It's not all bad, but keep an eye on the self-interest of others during this month too. And as a final intuitive message, you should start to see that your mind is sharpening up. King of Swords, Eight of Swords, there's something of an eye-opening, there's something of a more mathematical component, something of a more regimented and neutral projection that really flatters you now. So not super like push for this result. Gotta have this type of person in my life. Gotta really set a lot of parameters. I can see that, but I also feel like it's good to have neutrality right now. It's good to have ambiguity to some degree, because we can sometimes be trapped by an overly expressive conceptual dialogue where we're not actually putting action behind our words, but we're maybe telling people everything about us. Definitely keep an eye out for it. Anyway, let's talk about your week to week, Libra. Okay, week number 1 in October. 8 of Swords rooted down by the Sun reversed. I'm just drinking some coffee. Come on, brain. I don't know. I'm feeling like there's a sort of hopeless mantra or outlook that is leaving you, or maybe already has, and it's just showing you now. Like, you might have thought, this is all I can ever do with my life. You might have thought, the only way that I can make money is through this means. The only way that I can survive is in this location. The only climate I can live in is this climate. The only so parametered. And it has reason, because psychologically, I mean, that to me comes off as trying to give yourself the most concentrated form of options by kind of taking them from yourself at the same time. You know, it's like, I'm going to give myself the exactly perfect situation, the climate I want, the house I want, the job I want, the type of relationship I want. And it's masquerading as freedom, but it's actually a severe form of bondage that we can't realize until we have like the debt, or we can't realize until we have the contract, or we can't realize until, sorry, a horn just honked outside. It must be, it freaked me out. It must be a validation. So this is a big deal. And I'm thinking about this as well, even for like Scorpio energy right now. Like, watch out for, what do I want to say? Like a compass, an internal compass that is masquerading as something that it's not. There are bigger things, I think, for every Libra person right now. There are larger avenues, and yes, it can be scary to jump to those because it feels almost like we have to sacrifice what we have now, and it's not going to be that way, but that's how it feels right now. But it's kind of a little bit of a test from the universe, dare I say, where it's like, but would you sacrifice a mediocre thing that you have convinced yourself is incredible to have what you actually want? Or would you sacrifice what you actually want to maintain what you actually have because it's all you trust, because it's created by you in this moment? So this is sort of a control relationship thing coming up here. And it's not saying to like leap without faith, to just jump into things right here and right now. I think that's a poor timing right now. So I want to be very clear with this message. This is about the conceiving mentally of what we are actually wanting out of life, and also the conditioning that makes us capable of it. Because how many times, you know, do you see people, and social media is a great way to have examples of this, where people leap headlong headfirst into some type of public branding or marketing experience, and like being, I don't know, say the musician now, and copying or redistributing in the way that everybody else does it, and they haven't even actually done the training, or they haven't actually created the series of songs, or they haven't even performed live, but they've got like, I don't know, an Instagram account about being a musician, or an Instagram account about being a public figure. You know, those Instagram accounts is a little pet peeve of mine, that might have like a few thousand followers but refer to themselves as public figures. It's like very distasteful, and that's going to start getting really severe in general, where people are getting so much more content focused now than they are framing, okay? And I know it's kind of antithetical to this year, but it's really going to start being clear next year, where it's like the frames that are not what they say they are going to really at least be very challenging to have, you know, even if they resonate for some people still. But what I'm trying to get at here is think about the content. Think less about the framing, think more about the content, and the framing will come. I mean, framing is fun, right? I mean, it's fun to launch that website. It's fun to, I don't know, announce your passion and to say it with words and to have other people hear that, I suppose, is fun for a lot of people. But is the content there? Is the conditioning to be in this place there? Or are we in some kind of weird way trying to cope from something and make a kind of like devilish push into proving to ourselves that we're out for our own best interests? You know? What I'm trying to get out here, because I don't want this to sound discouraging, because what this is really great, is like, here is a great window, October 2021, to get your energy, to get your mindset. It's actually a little bit late for this, but it's still totally viable here, because I think it's going to happen regardless too, because like with everything going direct, with these knots kind of starting to ease out, it's like maybe our mindset just now, mid to late October, is like getting in, to where we want it to be. And what feels so much more enjoyable now is to actually get the strength and correct alignment of events to have a real claim for what it is that you want as well. That to me feels much more rewarding than an announcement or a cutout of how it's been done a bazillion times before. So what I'm also trying to pull your attention to is a change in trend. I think I talked a lot about this in like the September video, the comprehensive astrology video, and maybe the October one as well. But like basically there's a big generational change coming now, and what is liked, how things are framed, how things are resonant is changing. Okay, so there's no need to get expressive in unauthentic ways now. Okay, because for some people, especially in like the last 5 or 6 years, they've been able to just like capitalize on having the right appearance or having the right, I don't know, social media posting regimen, or having the right agent or right appearance. And that is human to some degree, but I'm just going to say it's going to resonate less and less. So it's got to be real. Let's keep moving on. And the first week's basically going to start getting you like awake to that, or it can be like austere, like, wow, I don't have a lot of content going on, like deep under some of these frames, but now I can start to develop it. There's hope there, right? But only if we want to develop. Okay, and in the second week, you guys have King of Swords rooted down by Wheel of Fortune reversed. So you want to keep the self-criticism at bay during this time, I feel, as these changes are happening. It's really important to not be angry at yourself for the previous ways of spending energy. It's important to just realize how you want to do it in the future and how it's going to change and how it's going to shift, and to start to comprehend how that really shapes up. Comprehending the wheel, comprehending the ebb and flow of life, knowing it, even maybe understanding the math of it, okay? And then you move into the third week, the Fool rooted down by Page of Pentacles, and that's really beautiful. That's actually such a wonderful time for you getting into Scorpio season. It's like maybe you're taking that leap then, maybe you're moving into those new pastures in the third week. And to some degree, I think you do have to. I think that there's got to be something that feels very new. Maybe it's having to do with health too. Again, the Pentacles are not just money, they're health, they're reality, they're material. So you've got a change coming there in a very new way of working within that paradigm. So any new things you need to do, third week of October, beautiful, beautiful. And also walking on new soil, having a new type of income, even if it's not like I discourage people doing only the one thing at this point in time. The diversity is really important right now. So maybe it's just about pursuing small new avenues. Or for some of you, it's about that huge new thing as well. Week 4, you've got the Ace of Pentacles rooted down by 7 of Cups. I think there's an easier way of funding yourself, time-wise, energy-wise. I think there's an easier way of bypassing that 7 of Cups energy. I'm starting to really, really hate that card. I'm sorry. There's no card that I hate because they can all be positive and negative. But I think 7 of Cups for me has been a huge area of growth. And I feel it for Libra as well. Where we're getting just too carried away with small things that have nothing to do with us. Wanting things because of how they look. Wanting things because of that human attachment. 7 of Cups is about all those worldly things, having money, having prestige, having beauty, having power, having grace and elegance, like all of these things coming together. But within that, when it's not coming naturally, when it's not coming in real ways, because that's what the 7 of Cups indicates, because the individual has gone into shadow, they're not visible to themselves anymore. It's always reversible. It's always something you can change and step out of if you want. But I think there's a gift from the universe coming in the 4th week that allows you to move into a more self-real place. Self-real. I really like that. And not such a scattered focus. So the focus is going to become more centralized within you, whatever that focus is. And it's going to stop so much being about money. It's going to stop being so much about fame, vanity, stuff outside of you. And it's going to become a lot more about you thriving. So the body really shows it well. Do you feel like your body's in a good place? Do you feel like progress is there? If so, you're already on the right track. If not, the 3rd and 4th week of October is an imperative time to start to heal the body and to focus more on self-real things. Anyway, okay, Libra, let's talk more about that in your extended reading on Patreon. I will go directly into some of that for you and we'll find some methods. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's great. I do bonus weekly forecasts over there every week. And there's a lot of great content over there. But I hope you have a wonderful month. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And let's do this extended on Patreon. Much love, Libra. Bye.